Alright. Well, hello everyone. It's that time when Christine, which is me, redoes a tutorial that I did a year ago because the one I did a year ago made 0 sense. As you're looking at these nails, you're probably thinking to yourself, holy mother of fuck, how does one even do that? Well, I showed you a year ago in 1 minute and 4 seconds, and no one understood. Imagine that. So, without further ado, here is Jenna Marbles doing her nails. Nah, I'm just kidding. Jenna's not here, sadly. She's not here. I used a whole bunch of colors from the rainbow, and I'm not gonna name them all because I can't remember. Holy shit, look how not yellow my nails were a year ago. Clearly, I was a beginner back then and didn't do my nails often enough. Now I'm a seasoned nail artist, and I do my nails so often that they're as yellow as the sun. Okay, so that was me painting my nail white. Good job. And now we're going to begin with the first of approximately 54 million gradients. The first gradient is going to go in one corner of the nail, if that makes any sense. And although you can't actually see what I did on my nail because I didn't film it, I had actually put kids glue around my nail to help protect from the gradient. If you asked me today, I would tell you that kids glue sucks and looks like sperm. It also takes 12 minutes to dry. So I would use Simply Peel instead. I've grown up so much in only a year. Keep putting on a bunch of light coats of the same color gradient, and I think I ended up doing 4 coats to build up opacity. But here's the trick, kids, all about gradients. Don't load up your sponge too much with nail polish in effort to make it opaque on the nail, because that's not gonna work. No, I don't think so. The secret is using a whole bunch of thin, light coats, sponging on the nail, and then letting it dry like 1 minute in between each coat. I just switched to my next nail in line with a totally different color gradient, so by the time I got back to the middle nail, it was totally dry and there were no problems. Add a quick dry. Oh, what am I doing? Why didn't I peel off the glue first? Oh, this is a terrible idea. Don't do this, because then the top coat will just get stuck in the glue, and then it's gonna create a disgusting mess like inside your cuticles. Oh, Christine, why? I guess I thought I was being smart by putting on that glue barrier first and using it for the entire manicure. So now I'm using a bunch of striping tape to create a pattern because I didn't have many nail vinyls back then. Imagine that, a year ago, nail vinyls were something you couldn't find everywhere on the internet. Now that the vinyls are all placed in kind of this sunburst pattern thing, I don't really know what was going through my head. I often don't know the things that come out of my head. We're gonna do the second gradient, which is the same coloring as the first gradient, but just the opposite colors flipped. So flip the colors and then sponge the colors on the corner of the nail again. After your first gradient, it will look like you just ruined everything and there is no discernible pattern. It's okay, don't worry, it's gonna work out. You just gotta use the thin gradient layer trick. I promise you. Dab, 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 one more time, and another time. And now the fun part is you get to reveal that reciprocal gradient witchcraft. Oh, it's so satisfying peeling these off and seeing that I didn't fuck up. But what is this ghost action? Do you see that? There's like nothing holding the end of that striping tape. Ah, what the fuck? It's moving. Oh my god, I don't know what happened. That is so fucking weird. This is the second time it's happened to me in my videos, but this was filmed a year ago. I've been haunted retroactively. I didn't even know ghosts could do that, but I'm cool with it. It's fun. Yeah, so you see that gunky nail polish shit all up in my cuticles? That's because the glue mixed with the top coat when I was putting it on in the wrong order did all sorts of weird chemistry things. Oh, look at me, just removing nail polish with acetone. Life used to suck, didn't it? Add another quick dry top coat because we're gonna do more gradients, yes! And let it dry, ladies and gentlemen, and you can watch this cat claw clip that I've had for a year in my tutorials, and I don't feel like I want to change it because it's kind of nice to pay tribute to Simply Nailogical circa 2014. So that white piece of tape is just a French tip guide thing, and then I use some green painter's tape because I like to paint everything, including my house, around the rest of my nail. And why am I off camera? I don't know. Okay, there we are. We're back. We're ready to go. Hey, look, it's different nail art. When I had time to paint nail art on both my hands. Alright, now that your nail is wrapped up like a cocoon, we can go start adding gradient 1, 2, 3. That's right, gradient number 3. Here we go. Now this gradient color order should be the same as the color order from gradient number 1 because it's going to be a scaled gradient. This is like part 2 of the reciprocal scaled gradient, and I'm making no sense. And the point of this tutorial was to make this tutorial make sense. A long time ago, I made a post on my blog, simplynailogical.com, called the Gradient Guide, and there were some pictures that help explain this, or don't help explain this, one or the other. But I thought at the time of writing it that it made a lot of sense, so you should go check it out if this isn't making any sense, in hopes that my blog post will actually make sense to you. Hey, maybe you read better than you watch. I mean, I don't know many people like that. In fact, I would much rather YouTube how to do a math equation than actually read a textbook. Am I right? Am I right? I'm right. Alright, now come out of your cocoon because you are ready to be a butterfly, young one. Well, not quite yet, but soon. That looks pretty cool just as is, doesn't it? I snapped this picture on my iPhone because I thought it was really cool back then. But no gradient is ever enough for Simply Nailogical. We gotta outdo ourselves, we're so crazy. Add some quick dry blah blah let dry and then add some more pieces of tape to your nail. This time the goal is to cover up and protect the bottom corner gradient because now we're gonna do another gradient on the opposite corner side of the nail. So you're gonna add more pieces of striping tape over top of the little lines that you have from before and then kind of make those lines extend beyond onto the new gradient so that the lines look like they're continuing. You know what I mean? You know, you following? Okay, let's go. Or you could just leave it like this and call it bondage nail art. Up to you. Now cover up that corner side thing with some more painter's tape. Now we're gonna sponge on gradient number 4. Finally, this is the last one. And I just realized that I filmed a new clip every single time that I show you painting nail polish on the sponge. Clearly, I had no idea how to be efficient a year ago either. Alright, so that was one sponge on coat. Now let's do number 2. That's not quite enough, so let's try number 3. God, Lilac, why you no opaque enough? Here's coat number 4. You do not satisfy me. And coat number 5. Let this be the last of them before I pull my hair out. Alright, looks good. Now we get to peel everything off. Yes, I love peeling things. I know you do too. I especially know that you love watching me peel things, which is even weirder. So fly out of that cocoon, girl, for the second time, I guess, and then peel off all those spaghetti strings off your nail, one by one. You gotta be careful because you don't want to mess it up. But you also don't want to peel them off too slow because then you're gonna let the nail polish dry and then it's gonna turn all crusty. The nail polish must still be wet when you're peeling off anything. Okay, so we're just gonna go back to the dark ages again and use some acetone to clean up a lot of nail polish around the sides of our cuticles. Oh, the luxury of living in modern times, I tell you. Simply Peel, I owe you everything, girl. Why does it appear like I don't even know how to put on top coat? Okay, how many times have I stroked my nail? What is this, like 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12? What the Christine? Why don't you know how to do anything back then? And we're done, finally. I think that this actually took me 6 hours back in the day of doing this, but it was totally worth it because look how awesome that pattern is, right? The ironic part is that I wasn't gonna redo it today because I knew that would take me another 6 hours and I would rather do a glitter placement that takes me 7 hours instead. Okay, and that's enough for your brain to absorb in one YouTube sitting. I'll see you next time then, bye!